Good morning, everyone. So glad to see all of you from all over the world. We're just tickled by your positive response to this course and wanted to know more about it. We are really delighted. It's the first time for all of us, as it is for you. Not the first time for me in teaching this class, but for most others instructors, it is the first time. To bring this course to around the world for all of you to learn how to do research the right way. So without much ado, I would like to go ahead and open the PowerPoint file so that we can follow it. That way we can be a bit more structured and follow the time. Otherwise I can ramble on forever and that's not good. You want to have all your questions answered. All right, so let me go ahead and do share screen. Very good, and let me see if I can find my PowerPoint file. Sometimes, there it is, okay. Share, all right. Then I'll use slideshow. Slideshow should be from the start. Okay, can you all see it now? Yeah, raise your hand. Yeah, okay, very good. All right, so a very brief introduction to the course, and which I'll leave plenty of time for your questions. So this course is co-sponsored by 3 institutions. RRBM in the middle is really, we're a virtual organization. We don't have walls, we don't have budget. We all have these good-hearted people coming together, trying to help our field to do research the right way so that we can have a good career, good research results for the world to use and to make the world a better place and all of that. Our partners are Arizona State University and Hong Kong Baptist University. For Arizona State University, this is the first time we offer this course as well, but Baptist U has been offering this course for 3 years now. This is their 4th year this fall, and I was able to convince them to accept students who would participate in it. Either for credit or not for credit, it's up to you. Same thing with ASU. If you want credit, then you have to go to the university system to register for it. And those are really sort of few students might do that. Most of you, I believe, come here because you want to learn. The 2 credits is not that important to you. But if it is, then please work with the instructors at each university to do that. And I say that because I want to be clear. There was a question that came in about what's the difference between RRBM course and ASU course. It is the same course, okay? So we are a partner for both universities. All right, so moving along, the people here today, we were expecting around 60 participants. That is all of you from 51 universities, 24 countries, and most of you are doctoral students and so forth. And then with the instructors, Darlene, myself, Darlene is the one who was struggling with Zoom. He's a major instructor from ASU, and we have 2 guest instructors with us. Not today, Jason is not today here, but Michael Heinlein is here, and Michael to wave his hand. But we have 2 co-instructors. The only difference is that they are not professors yet, but they will soon be professors. Brett is a doctoral student at Cranfield in UK, and Nicholas is a postdoc at University of Michigan. Both of them are interested in teaching this course, so they are here with us on this course, on this journey, so that they can learn how to teach it later on, as I hope you will, many of you will also. We have Julianne with us. Julianne is our wonderful support. Everything that the reason you're here is because of her great coordination skills, and just we can't do without her. So we are very pleased to have such a strong team to support all of your learning. All right. So we won't do one-on-one introductions. We just don't have time for it. Once we get the course started, we will get to know each other very well. Let me also say one more thing before I move on, because I know this is on your mind. Dawn's email says that we may not be able to admit all of you into the course, and I don't know whether all of you are going to apply to take that course. So my principle is that never turn away anybody who wants to learn. So we'll find a way to accommodate you. So don't worry about that at this point. If you can wait, you want to wait for the next time, that's good. If you can, you have to have it this semester, fall semester. We'll find a way to let you have the opportunity to learn. So don't let that be your point of anxiety, and that's a principle that I personally believe strongly, that people want to learn. We don't say no, you can't. That's just not the right thing to do. Okay. All right. So with that, this is our agenda for today. We won't be doing all the talking. I promise you, I'll be really brief. And then within, like by, all right, it's 9:15. By 9, hopefully in 10 minutes, Don, you signal me to get me to stop. All right. So I'll give the background purpose of this course, and then Don will describe the course a little bit for you. And then hopefully we'll have plenty of time for your questions, all right? So now to talk about how this course is, why this course is being introduced at this point in time in the history of business schools, doctoral education, we all put it all on one chart. So it's about 100-year history, a little more than 100 years now. Before 1950s, the business school is very strong on relevance. We will refer to as trade schools. We teach people how to manage, how to make things, how to structure, how to organize, mostly from case studies and from observations of companies and working side by side with executives. We did a lot of experiments. Some of you may remember the Hawthorne study, things like that, the Aston study. All of those are done in the 50s and 40s and 60s. In 1959 comes a really important report called Gordon and Howell report, funded by the Ford Foundation. And basically it says that business schools, as part of the university, needs to have science. The research needs to be more scientific. So then we hired all kinds of scientists from economics, sociology, psychology, and so forth. There's a rapid increase in rigor, and then there were tons of theories, new theories, exciting theories. They feel the textbooks of today are still the today. So those are called the golden age of business research. Something happened in the 1980s, 70s, starting globalization, new economies arising, business school began to arise in other countries, business education. So in the 80s and 90s, there was just so much exciting going on around the world. So globalization of business research, and many business schools worldwide also want to do research to understand problems in their part of the world. So they learn how to do research. Where do they learn from? From the developed economies, from Europe, from America. So what they did is that they started to imitate what we do, how we do research. When I say we, I'm referring to North America. And then they began to really focus on publishing in the journals and getting legitimacy. All of those problems then give rise to our research today is not as relevant for business. And it's also got this journal publication, push people to publish without thinking about and try to find best ways to publish, manipulate data and so forth. So it becomes a rigor problem as well. And then homogenization, the problems they've seen journals from papers around the world is all about the same kind of problems, and not enough attention to local problems. So there's a bunch of problems in this field. So what did we do? A bunch of scholars around the world on 25th, we decided to tackle this problem. How can we bring business school research back to where it should be, which is that rigor, not for rigor's sake, but rigor to really get at the problem, get at truth, and not just manipulate data and manipulate p-values and so forth, right? And also to make sure our research is useful for the world and not just for ourselves. So that's the responsible research in business and management movement, and some of you are also members of this community, all right? So in this particular movement started with a position paper, and the position paper started with a Vision 2030. So in 9 years, we hope that we will be in a world, in 9 years, all of you will be professors at that time, all right? So if you decide to go to academia, you will all be professors at that time. So we will see a world where business school research is used widely in practice by business and other organizations, and for the purpose of improving the lives of people in our societies, and not just making more money for corporations and shareholders. okay? So this is where we are today. And RRBM has been, in 6 years, we introduced a lot of projects. We work at 2 levels. One is at the system level, change the system level parameters and practices. One is at the individual level, help our scholars learn how to do responsible research. And this particular course is one of among those efforts, all right? So when I talk about responsibility, we have to be clear, as a scientific community, we do have 2 responsibilities, and they're not to ourselves, as it turns out. One is to science, okay, produce credible knowledge, repeatable knowledge, and one is to society, that our knowledge is useful for making the society better places for everyone and not just for a small group of business owners and so forth. So it is to use resource responsibly to bring value to society through our research. All right. So responsible research basically is about producing credible and useful knowledge for addressing problems important to both business and society. So it is contributing to both science and the world, right? So what is going on in the RRBM facilitated, catalyzed a lot of movement, and many other groups. RRBM is not the only group. There are actually many other groups are focusing on the same concern and try to find same solutions to the same problem. So in improving rigor, the journals are now engaging in open science, asking for data sharing and so forth. Pre-register your hypothesis, study design, so that they will commit to publishing a paper, even though the results are not supporting the hypothesis. Those can be just as important as the results that support the hypothesis. We cannot just publish significant results and ignore non-significant results, but those are valuable information as well. So the improving relevance, there are lots of special issues. Many journals are introducing special issues. I just call out 2 examples. Journal Marketing has a special issue in works for 3 years, just got published, Better Marketing for a Better World. And they're beginning a whole movement of trying to get the marketing researchers to do more research that really is not only good for selling the product, but selling the product that's good for consumers and good for society, examples such as that. So AMJ, our premier journal in management, is now calling researchers to join conversations, not in the literature, but in society. What are people talking about? What are people experiencing in society? We need to focus on solving problems of society and not solving problems in the literature. Where's the gap to be filled? Those gaps may not be important, right? It's the problems in the world that we are, as scientists, are expected to solve. So a lot of things happening in the journals. We also started a bunch of awards to help recognize published or completed research. The bunch, marketing, operations, finance, and so forth, okay? And then now we also have an award for new research to encourage new research, and that is the Dare to Care Dissertation Scholarship. Many of you probably know about it. That's why you come here today, is through that particular call for proposals. So with that, I think I'm pretty much at the end of my session. I don't want to we can always come back to answer your questions about any of these things. So just summary. Science is about seeking truth. Can we get to truth? All those are questions that we're going to explore in our course. Okay, I mean the word truth is pretty challenging. What is true? We know nowadays truth is whatever you believe in, right? No, that's not. Belief is not alone, is not enough. We need evidence too, right? So second is science about improving humanity. Okay, we don't create science to make the world worse, right? We want to make the world better. So science is the basic producing the knowledge to allow technology, allow policies, allow whatever medicines and so forth to help make our people's life better. All right, so advancing good science is a purpose of our responsibility. So for a long time, we focus on research methods. All of you, if you are already in the program, you all have a research methods class. Some of you have some doses of philosophy science, but not enough. All right, so my I've been in the field for 40 years, and we're just not teaching enough about philosophy of science, which is the understanding what is science, what is nature, what is truth, okay? And also what is responsibility of scientists, okay? So together allow us to do good science, sound science, and then they're useful to society, then becomes what we call good science. So good science is about responsible science, and the word responsible science is used synonymously with responsible research, all right? So at this point, I have to bring this quote up. This quote I use in almost every talk I give. Albert Einstein, if you don't recognize the face, I hope you will read a book that I'll introduce to you. He said, concern for making life better for ordinary humans, not just the 1%, okay? Not just people with money, but ordinary humans, the 99% must be the chief objective of science. Never forget this when you're doing your equations, formulae, running your regressions, and so forth, okay? So that's really all about what science is all about. So the responsible research movement also defines how do we actually design studies to get the responsible science. So it's in a paper, we'll talk about it in a class, so I will not spend time on that. And with that, then I will now turn it over to Dawn to explain the course, and then we will open up for your questions. Okay, sorry, a fast train, bullet train, but we'll have plenty of time to learn about that for those of you that end up taking the class. Okay.
Thanks, Anne. Okay, so let me just say a few words about how the course is going to be laid out, and then we'll have some time for you to ask any questions that you might have. And I just want to reiterate a couple things that Anne said and then add to it. So Anne and I, along with some other great instructors, are going to be conducting the course. And if you look at the page where you signed up for this information session, you'll notice there were two syllabuses, one for RRBM and one for ASU. But if you look closely at those two syllabuses, they're the same. And it's just that for administrative reasons, we need to run the ASU portion for ASU students in one way with the one syllabus, and the RRBM overseen by Anne in the other way. But from the perspective of a student, it's going to be seamless. There will be no difference. It'll be just one course. So it does give you the option to register through ASU as a non-degree seeking graduate student. That has paperwork involved and it has cost involved. We don't anticipate that many of you would be interested in doing that, but it's available for you if you do want to do that. And the information is linked through that same page again, that where you signed up for this course. I mean, where you signed up for this information session. So, of course, if you go through RRBM, there is no cost. Now, this is a 10-session course, and each of the sessions is 2 hours and 45 minutes in length. And they will be held at about the same time that we're meeting today. It's about this same time period. Again, for 2 hours and 45 minutes each session. It'll be held on Tuesdays in September, October, and November. And it's important that if you do decide to apply for the course and register for the course, that you come to all the sessions. So if it's a situation where you know you won't be able to, then I would encourage you to register for another version of the course in the future where you can come to all the sessions, because they do build on each other, and we do count on people coming to all of them. And of course, that would be except if there was some kind of extraordinary and unplanned circumstance that would mean that you couldn't come to a session. But otherwise, we want you to be at all the sessions. Each of the class sessions has assigned reading to complete beforehand, written assignment, teamwork. Many of the class sessions will feature in-class debates that students will be conducting. So, this is the course design. There'll be discussion of the key ideas. By the way, it's not a lecture course. It is, in fact, a seminar, a doctoral seminar, which means that students will be very well prepared when they arrive at the class session, which of course is held on Zoom. But when you arrive at the class session, we'll discuss the ideas that were in the readings. We'll have, many of the sessions, as I said, we'll have debates. There will be group work, including group written assignments. And then it'll culminate in the development of a preliminary idea of a research project. If you could go one more slide for me, and thanks. So as I said 2 slides ago, the course is divided up really into 4 modules, but let me just go through session by session. The first 3 are essentially an introduction to responsible research and the foundational ideas in the philosophy of science, and particularly in the philosophy of social science. I think this is really fun and interesting stuff, and not necessarily what you're exposed to in your regular doctoral program. It may vary from institution to institution, but we think it's really interesting and useful stuff. This, as you can see, Anne and I will be leading those 3 sessions. And then the next 2 sessions, which pertain to alternative frameworks of progress in science, those will be taught by Jason Colquitt. And Jason is a leading management organizational behavior scholar. He's a professor at Notre Dame University. Very pleased to have Jason on the team. The 6th session, which is zeroing in on responsibility, objectivity, and values, will be held by somebody that Anne mentioned earlier in the call, extremely talented young scholar, Nicholas Pajoli, who's a postdoc research fellow at the University of Michigan. And backing up Nicholas will be Anne and me. And then the 7th session, pertaining to science, policy, and society, will be led by somebody else that Anne mentioned, another up-and-coming scholar. He happens to be a doctor who's also a PhD student at Cranfield University. You probably already have interacted with him or seen him because he's been playing a very active role in the responsible research and business and management movement. And this is Ibrit Jabarov. And then sessions 8 and 9 are about responsible research in business and management, and they will be headed by Michael Hanline, who's a leading marketing scholar. He's on our call today. We're very pleased to have him. He's a professor at ESCP Business School in Paris. And for session 8, also, we're assembling some eminent scholars to speak to the class as our guest faculty panel. So we're assembling those scholars and getting a really great panel together. And then finally, in session 10, the session that brings it all together, including student, which will include student presentations. And Anne and I will again be leading that session along with other faculty. So that's pretty much an overview of the course. We will have an application process for the course that I want to just briefly mention. And after this session is over today, I will email you all with instructions on how to apply. And the application is pretty simple. We're going to ask you to submit your CV, your curriculum vitae, and we're going to ask you to submit a relatively brief statement of interest, but it's going to include 3 parts. We want to have you confirm. Again, I'm going to send you this. You don't have to take notes. I'm going to send you this in an email right after the call. But the statement of interest will confirm that you understand that you need to be present for all the sessions and prepared and so forth. It will ask you to describe what stage you are in your studies and what your research and teaching interests are, and then finally what your interests in the course are and what motivates you to participate. We just wanted to say that there are materials required for this course. The reading will be some books and some other articles, and we want to encourage you to read everything once before the course even starts, and then reread it before the particular session. we want you to observe copyright rules and laws, and so please buy your own books or you use the library versions. A lot of times you can get this information through libraries, and perhaps help each other get access through articles or book chapters. So and then as far as when to apply, as I said, I'm going to send you instructions right away, give you 2 weeks to respond, which would be about June 4th. I'll put that in the email with your statement of interest and your CV. And then about 2 weeks after that, we want to make decisions and let you know that you've been admitted. And that way, you'll have the summer to acquire materials, read in advance the readings, ask the instructors if you need any guidance or have questions, and then just get yourself generally prepared for the seminar. Anne, did I miss anything?
No, beautifully done. I just want to add that this is assignment page. The better prepared you are, the better learning you will get. And my experience, I taught this class 3 years, 2015 to 2018, at 3 universities. And I have all my friends are teaching now in many universities now, and the students just love it. That's all I can tell you. I mean, that's why I feel so confident that you guys will really have a wonderful time, but you need to be engaged. It's not a doctoral seminar. You don't just sit and listen. You won't get as much out of it without pushing yourself to talk about the ideas and to force yourself to debate these ideas and look at both sides of the issue and so forth. Yeah, so engagement is the key.
Yeah, and I think that in the Zoom era, that's especially important to emphasize, because in a Zoom classroom, it's kind of easy to sit in the background and observe, but we do believe you'll get a lot more out of the course if you're an active participant. And so we're going to do what we can to inspire you to unmute yourself and to engage in the course as it goes on. So I guess this would be a great time to field any questions that you might have. There is a hand raising tool if you want to raise your hand if you have a question.
Okay, I'm going to stop share. Okay, so we can see everybody. Perhaps we can ask Michael. Michael's here, and he's a very busy professor. So I want to see whether he has anything he want to add to it, or just say hello to everybody. Michael.
Oh yeah. So I'm Michael. I'm the marketing person. Hello. I think I just want to add 2 things. First, how important it is to participate in this and to do the pre-readings. I think this course will be much less valuable if you don't do it. And I admit it'll be a significant amount of preparation work, but I really think it's worth it. And the second point I want to add is I cannot stress how important this movement towards responsible research is. We have moved into a world where people publish for publishing's sake, and it's just, I think it's, especially at your stage in the career, it's just not very motivating to think that you will spend thousands of hours of your life writing research that few people will read. So now is a good point to change that to avoid that.
Yeah. So can we also call on Ibrat to share why he's with us? Ibrat, you're busy working on your dissertation. Where are you? Please speak up, say a few words.
Hi, Anne. Hi, everyone. To be honest, I don't know what to say. Perhaps that's a bit rare, but I'm excited about this course. When Anne suggested to me that she'll be putting it together about 9 months ago, I felt very excited about it and really been looking forward to this. Thank you for putting it together, Anne and Don and Michael. Really appreciate this. And Julianne, of course. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. So there are 2 points I forgot to say in the beginning. Let me just say it now. Maybe we'll repeat it later. So this course is to prepare young scholars for a new world of research that's emerging quickly. The ecosystem, the structure is changing. They are looking for young scholars to work on research projects that really address important problems in society. If your school is ASU, CSB accredited, the next accreditation will be looking for examples of research. And if the school has faculty working on research that nobody cares, they will not be accredited well. So they are, in their future, hiring, promotion, tenure, impact on society is going to be a very important factor. And you are smart if you are ahead of the curve to start learning how to choose the problems that is difficult but tractable. Nothing is impossible, remember. No, it seemed difficult, but no, I mean, all the difficult research people done it in the past, and we can still do it. And in the current, kind of easy, quick and dirty papers are just, it's in the thing of the past. So, which also makes life more interesting for you, more meaningful for you. So that's it. The second point is that it will help you if you're interested in applying for the dissertation scholarship. We timed it so that you have the course in the fall, and December 1st is the deadline for the submission for the scholarship application. Hopefully it'll help you develop a better proposal. Okay, so very practical suggestions. All right, so questions? You can raise your hand, or yes, Mirishika, yes.
Perfect, thank you. And may you please share with us a little bit about developing this course? It's brilliant, you know, that to work with up and coming scholars and create a training program for them. That's really, it testifies to the you know, the principles outlined in the position paper, and it's so action orientated. I love it. Can you speak a little bit about what went behind developing this course?
This course actually came at the same time that the RRBM movement was conceived. That's in the fall of 2014. The fall of 2014, we were beginning upon the invitation of EFMD, a gentleman there, to put a team of faculty together to try to address the problems that we're talking about in accreditation. I was on sabbatical at Notre Dame, and I was at the same time thinking about a course to help students, okay? So I actually, this course is about philosophy of science, but it's not very philosophical because I'm not a philosophy of science person. So I know I want a course that if I can understand and co-learn it with the students probably would appreciate it too, because I just don't like all these really high-level philosophical questions. We need to know enough so that we can do our work effectively. So I took a philosophy of science course at Notre Dame from a postdoc who just graduated with a philosophy of science degree from Maryland. He was at Notre Dame. So that semester, this particular course took shape. My paper for that course I took was a design for this course. And then I took it to 3 universities in China that I was guest lecturing. I was already retired, so I couldn't do it at ASU. I would have, if I were a faculty at ASU, I would have taught at ASU. But I was visiting faculty at the 3 universities in China. So I brought it to them, and they wanted to do it right away. So that's how it started, 2015. The first class was offered in the fall of 2015, all 3 universities. And then now this is continued. This is a required course for doctoral students there, and many more has started.
It's awesome outreach. Thank you very much for your work in creating this.
Thank you. Questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
Yes, do you recommend this course for first-year students or third-year students? Do you have a certain benchmark in mind?
At the university that I taught before, we started with any students, right? Because we were the first year we piloted, okay, it's all years. Now we are offering it to first-year doctoral students because it's a required course. So it doesn't matter at any stage. Better late than never, any point. Yeah.
Thanks.
And that mix is really nice too for the students in the class, because they can see, you know, some students with experience on research already. They know, what replication means. new students may not. So they learn together. Yeah, it's a good question.
David has his hand up.
Yeah, I couldn't see everybody. So please unmute and just speak up.
Yes, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. First of all, thank you so much for offering this class. It's an amazing resource, and I've been waiting for this to happen, so thank you so much. If I understood right, I believe Ibrat has taken the course before, and maybe, no. Oh.
No, David, I haven't taken the course before.
Now, I was wondering if you have testimonies of students so that we could know how it changed their perspective, how it changed their lives, really. But maybe not today. Thank you.
I have a student in China who recently wrote me. I wrote a paper about many things. And she said, you know, you didn't mention this course. He said, this course changed my life. Because before, you know, she was in the first class at Fudan University. Before she took the class, she was kind of say, oh, I'll just help out, I was sure. And then, and very smart, of course, you know, this student. And then now she graduated, and she said that if I have not taken the class, I'll be just writing a paper for paper's sake. Not really think about why do I want to write this paper, you know, who's going to benefit and so forth. Yeah, and of course, you know, you think I'm biased, but I'll be more than happy to introduce. Maybe I'll recruit a few students to that, you know, try to provide with some information. But the fact is that we are this is the 25th year, sixth or seventh year at these universities. And the experience always been, the feedback's always been that before I take a class, I have no idea what science is. Now I know what science is. If our research is just taking a data set and writing papers, find the most significant results and write a paper about it. Now I know that's not what research is supposed to be. So.
We have a easy question answer in the chat, which is how much does it cost? There is no cost except for the materials you need to acquire, so that's on you. But if you go through the RRBM, then it's cost-free. If
you want credit, then you have to pay some cost for the university where
right.
You're going to be enrolling. Everybody super clear about everything? I see lots of names and no faces. Could people turn on your cameras? I can at least see who's all here.
And can I actually ask you a question?
Of course, of course.
So I'm really interested in taking this course this fall, but I'm not sure how much I can actually be engaged because of my personal circumstances. I am delivering a baby boy this summer, so and it's going to be my first one, so I don't know how occupied I will be in the fall, but I'm sure I will be occupied. So I'm currently debating whether I want to sign up for this course for this year, because on one hand, I do want to apply for the dissertation scholarship this year, but at the same time, I know I can't be fully committed, you know, with, with this newborn. So I'm curious if this course will be offered, you know, next year or even next semester. Do you have any ideas about that? And if I can't take this course but still want to apply for the scholarship, do you have any tips or advice on that as well? Yeah.
Good question. Good question. For next year, for sure. This course is on the ASU regular teaching schedule. So it'll be every fall we'll be offering it. Depending on demand, if there are lots of students interested applying, this morning actually I'm contemplating possibly putting a team together, offer it an online course, non-credit for the spring term. But that depends on how many students there are, okay? We need 16 students minimum to make the course work because of the teams that we create and the debates that we create. 9, 10 students is possible, but 16 is kind of the ideal size for this course. And then if you, I say, if you want to apply the scholarship, let nothing stop you, you know, just do it. And then if you want to read the books yourself, which when the baby is sleeping, you probably can't do that. And then just tell us now that you're self-learning, self-studying for these reasons, and we'll, you know, application packet. Look at the research idea that's primary. Yeah, it's a wonderful idea. And this course is meant to help you do better design, right? So to the extent your design is already solid, and not having the course is not going to punish you. But having the course give us an extra kind of comfort that you already know how to think about the difficulty of doing really good research. And believe me, research is not meant to be easy. That's why you have to receive a 4 or 5 year education to learn how to do it. So it's meant to be difficult. So, but still.
Just to add to that, I think you probably will not get the entire learning experience by studying yourself. But if you're reading the assignments and follow the syllabus, which is very detailed, I think you get a very, very solid part of the education that has the advantage of allowing you to do it entirely on your own schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Seriously, this course, you know, I taught it for 3 years, 2015 or 2018. Every year I reread every book and everything, and I'm still learning new things from the readings. It's just so much rich ideas in them. We just know. I was reading the little first book, Philosophy of Science, that mostly about natural science. It's a really small paperback. My daughter looked at me and said, "Mom, you've been reading that book for so many times. Why are you still reading it?" And I say, "Well, I'm old and forget," but no, I enjoy reading it.
Any other questions?
Are we able to promote the opportunity to colleagues that might be interested and weren't able to attend this session? Or is it only those who signed up?
No. It's open to everyone. No. Yes. Yeah.
The best way for those individuals to make sure they get additional information about this would be to go to the rrbm.network/dare to care website and register to be on the distribution list for additional information regarding the scholarship.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Julianne. Yes. And also this video recording we'll put on our website under the information session so they can view it for those that are not able to come. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Mariska.
Well, we've got 9 minutes left, Anne, and it looks like questions have been exhausted. So
there's a question by Elijah.
Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah,
about university certificates. For RRBM students, if you don't sign up for credit at ASU, you will get a certificate from RRBM, but we will not give a university certificate because university structure and system to get a certificate from them, whether or not it's credit or not credit. It requires a university something. I don't know what is involved, but you get a certificate from RRBM for sure, assuming that you complete the course, you know, with good attendance and good participation. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Hello, may I ask one question about the dissertation?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want to know, I found under we should write a proposal, or I want to know how about the proposal. So it's with a very big or broad research question or one very detailed research question?
What the proposal is supposed to be an empirical research that you will have to, like a research design. If you do one big dissertation, it would have to have, you know, the question and what's sample and so forth, right? If you do 3 papers, that's the empirical paper of your 3 papers. Yes, it's to be details. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Involving data collection and so forth. Yeah.
So I think in our university we should have 3 papers. That means I should think about the 3 different research questions that are related, right?
That is your overall dissertation. You work under your committee's guidance. For the dissertation grant, you can provide a context that this is part of the 3 papers. And the other papers are about one's conceptual, one's literature, or 2 empirical, or maybe all 3 empirical, and choose the one that fits what we are looking for the best, which is about equity issues, injustice issues, economic, gender, race, social, you know. I mean, the injustice issues are, we have justice theories, but they don't get at the kind of problem that we are looking at the world today. So focus on that as your application. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay, so if everybody's got all your questions answered, you're pretty clear about whether or not you want to participate or constraints, feel free to email Don and me or Michael with your questions, and then we'll be happy to answer them anytime. And we look forward to seeing most of you in the fall, and hopefully we'll have a wonderful learning experience together. Okay.
Thank you, everybody. You'll get an email from me shortly. And again, like Ann said, be sure you ask any questions that you might have.
Okay, thank you, Michael. He just gave his email. So generous. Some professors say reluctant. No, we are all here because we care a lot about future generation scholars. And that's the reason we are here. We care about all of you. We want you to succeed because your success makes our world better. Remember that. Your success makes you a better person and a happier person. So I'm a very simple person. I just believe in doing the right thing and be happy and make a difference at the same time. That seems like a pretty rule of thumb for living, for me at least. Okay? Yeah.